Hello and welcome back to Room 1 of DebConf 21. Our next talk is a tutorial by Praveen Arimbrathodiyil about building a package from source. Praveen dons many roles, including that of a Debian developer, a privacy advocate, and even that of a politician. So over to you, Praveen.
Hello, my name is Praveen, and we are going to do a tutorial on building a package from source. I'm a Debian developer, and I maintain many Debian packages. For example, GitLab, Diaspora. These are web-based applications, so I maintain these applications and their dependency libraries in Ruby, JavaScript, and Node.js. So, who would find building from source useful? So, if you are new to packaging and you want to start updating a package to new upstream version, or maybe you want to fix some bugs, so it would require you to build and test your changes to the deb package. So in this tutorial, I would show you how you can get the source package for any of the packages available in the Debian archive and then build the package. And since all the development usually happens in the Debian unstable branch, or it's also called the Debian seed, we will also go through setting up of a Debian unstable environment using systemd nspawn, but you can also use LXC, Docker, virtual machine, or even install it as a dual boot in your system. Okay, so first we need to install systemd container and the bootstrap packages for using the systemd nspawn container. So I'm going to install this. The packages as systemd container and the bootstrap. And since I'm already using the nspawn, I have these packages already installed. And for you trying to set up these steps, these are documented in the Debian wiki. If you go to wiki.debian.org and /packaging and then prerequisites, and under that you will find nspawn. Okay. So next step would be using a root file system, creating a root file system using the bootstrap. So the command is the bootstrap, and then we want systemd container inside the root file system as well, and then auto apt proxy to make package downloads easier with apt-cacher ng, and then sudo for getting root access to a normal user. And then we are going to create an unstable system, and the path is going to be in var_lib machines Debian set. This is the default location of systemd container. Okay, or we could also make it faster if I already have auto apt proxy, like apt-cacher ng setup, and then I can use the auto apt proxy to use the locally downloaded debs, so it would be faster. And then you need to enable the systemd network D and then start. This is on your host machine. I have this already done, but then you will need this. So okay, this is both of them I've already set up. So now while it downloads, let's look at the building tutorial and go through it. So this step, you should have a working Debian distribution, and we are following this guide to create the systemd and span container. And the location for this tutorial is wiki.debian.org/building tutorial, which you can refer. Okay, and then you will need a few packages installed for building from source. This needs to be in your Debian unstable environment or your Debian development system. You need build essential, fake root, and dev scripts. And then you need to make sure you have the deb source line in your sources.list so that we can easily download the source packages. Let's see if the installation is complete. It's still setting up the base system. And then you can create a working directory where any Debian package, and we will follow the first example here, the prettyms package, node prettyms package, which is a very simple Node.js module. Okay, so now the root file system is created. So let's see what is the next step in the container. So now this bind home username, and then this option is useful if you want to share the home directory from your host machine inside the container. So in my case, the username is Praveen. So you substitute this with your username. Okay, so now we are inside the container, and closing this container, it is you have to press Control and closing square bracket 3 times. Okay, and then you can again connect to the container. And now we will add a user. So usually in your case, the user may be having a UID 1000, so you don't need to give the GID manually. But since my user is the second user on the system, I need to provide that option as well, so that the user on the host machine is mapped inside the container. So UID on the host 1001, and then okay, and then you need to set a password. Okay. Okay, so I have the user created, and then now I will give sudo permission to my user. Okay, and then I'll also set a root password, just in case I need to use. Okay, now you can exit from the shell, and then okay, so you need to enable the systemd network D. So I'll connect back, and then I need to do systemd network D enable, and also start. Okay, so probably this we need to run later after the booting. This wiki probably need to be updated. So, and you can set up host name. So I would by default, it takes the same name as your host. So if you want to use a different name, you can do that. Okay. Now I have done the basic configurations where 127.0.1 is also mapped to the host name that I've given. Now exit, and now to start the container you can give this command, and here the username you need to substitute with your username. Okay, so now it's actually now booted into the Debian seed container, and then you can see the home directory is actually shared between the container and the host. Okay, so this is about the Debian unstable container setup. Now we will come back to the building package. So now we are inside the Debian seed container, and then we will first install the basic tools that is usually required for building Debian packages. The build essential, and Since I have a app cacher ng, it's pretty fast. And now it says to configure the source code list. So if we want to log in using another, you can say machinectl login and then name of the container. Machinectl command is machinectl. Okay, that is login without hyphen. And then, okay, so I can set up etc apt. You can use your favorite editor, Nano, Vim, Emacs, or whatever. So we have the deb line already, so we just need to add deb-source so that we can get the source packages as well. So this one is going to take some time. Okay, maybe the Debian keyring is not cached, which would take some time. But let's proceed with this. Let's see if we can do an apt update. If it's okay, it did an apt update. So it's going to take some time to download the sources. So let's look at the next step. Okay, so this we can do actually. You need to create a source Debian directory and then go into that. So while this is progressing, I'll open another terminal. Login Debian set. Okay. So you can see the container. You can create as many logins inside your container. So it suggests create a directory for your packages, which can be any directory as per your liking. So now we are in the source Debian directory and there's nothing. So now we need to get the source code. So we have two examples in this tutorial. I would be covering only the example one, node.ms. So to get the source code of the package, what you need to do is run the command apt source node.ms. Okay, so this will download the source package into your current directory, whichever directory you are in. Okay, so our apt update is still running, so apt doesn't know about deb source URLs yet. So once this is finished, we will be able to use the apt source command. So while that progresses, so let's see, there's another method that you can use. This is using the dget command. So if you go to tracker.debian.org, you can find any package available in Debian in tracker.debian.org. For example, you can find details about node pretty ams. That's the package that we want to build. Okay, so on the left side, you can see version links. This is where you can see different versions. And you can see the version available in Unstable is 7.0.1-1, same version in testing. So corresponding to this version, this is the DSC file. And we can say right click and then say copy link address. And then now we say dget. And give path to the DSC file. Okay, so first the dget command is actually part of the dev scripts package. So this will take some time. Let's see if there are any other commands or other options that we can use. Okay, so the first method 1 is using the app source, and method 2 is using dget, and there is also method 3 get source from the version control. So this would also work. Probably we also will need to wait after that. Deb checkout is also part of Deb script, so this will take some time for it to finish. Okay. And yeah, so once you have cloned or checked out the repository of your package, you can use the command orig-gz, which would we should give you the orig.tar.gz. It will use different methods. The first one it would try is if the repo itself has a pristine-tar branch, then it would try to extract, check out the tarball using the pristine tar branch. And if the pristine tar branch is missing, then it would fall back to using app source. So first option it would, so orig-tar-gz is the command, and it would try pristine tar as the first option, and then if it fails, it would use app source, and if that also fails, it would use scan. So these are the three options that orig-tar-gz command would try in that order to get the source tarball of any source from the package repository. Okay, so while this is actually in progress, let's just have a peek of the package. So since the installation is going to take a while, okay, the source is going to be finished. This one will take about 12 more minutes. So we can go to the salsa. So in your tracker.debian.org, so every package will have the, those packages which has a VCS version control system. For example, most common one is Git, and then it will have a browse option, and then we can see this is the node.ms repo on salsa. And now if you go to the debian directory, you will see the packaging files. Like it will have all the packages will have a control file, a rules file, changelog file, and some of them may be like optional, but the control, rules, and changelog would be there in all the packages, and also the copyright file. And some of these files may be optional. It may not be available in all the packages. And watch file is the file used by uscan to download the source tarballs. Okay, so now this is complete, and this is also complete. So now let's see if we can get the source code. App source node.tms. So now you can see the files are downloaded. You can see there is node.tms underscore 7.0.1.orig.tar.gz. This is the original tar file as released by upstream. And then we have all the Debian packaging files, and if there are any patches that would also be present in this debian.tar.xz file. And then the DSC file is the Debian source package that will have checksums for these two files in case the download is corrupt or something. We can verify using this DSC file. And then it also created the package directory where the orig.tar is extracted, and then the debian.tar is also extracted into the Debian directory. And so you can see these files. For example, if you look at the debian/control file, you can see the details of the package. And the same for any file that you want to check. Okay, so that's for the package. So now I'll just remove these directories, and then I'll show you how to get the dget file. So Control R is the reverse command search. You can search for the commands that you typed earlier using Control R. Instead of typing the whole thing again, you can search, and then so now you can see dget also go to the same files. So if you don't have a deb source line, or you might want to download the source package for some other distribution than your host machine. For example, you want to download the version in a stable release and not the unstable one, or if you have a stable machine, maybe you want to prepare a stable backports, and then your development machine is unstable, or any combination where you don't want to use the app source. So you could use dget, and then you can see the same directory and files are created. Okay, and now I'll just remove that, and I'll show you the deb checkout option as well. So now deb checkout is actually now doing a git clone, and now you can see this only has the node.tms directory. So to create the orig.tar, you say orig.gzip command. So it would, and you can actually see git branch. It only has the master branch locally. So let's say git branch -a. So you can see remote, it has master, pristine tar, and upstream branches. So let's see if orange tar gz would work. It actually orange tar is actually now generated. Okay, so now we have the orange.tar and now the source directory, and now let's go back to the building tutorial and see what's the next step. And yeah, you need to do the build dependency. So before you're going to install, it might need some packages that at the start, we only install the build essential, fake root, and devset. This is the very minimal packages that you would need for any package. And now we need something specific to Node.ms. If it has any other build dependencies, it would install that. Okay, so since I have a apt cache energy, this time it went pretty fast. It didn't take any time at all to download. So now it installed all the build dependencies. Now what the tutorial says is rebuild -b -uc -us. So these are some of the options that I don't usually use debuild. I usually use dpkg build package. So let's see what the -b option says. Okay, so -b is to build the binary package, and then the other options are -uc, and this is probably options to dpkg build package, which has the -uc. This is for unsigned changes, and -us is unsigned source. Okay, so don't assign the sources or changes file. So these options are, so instead of dbuild, you can also do dpkg build package. So now the package got built, and if you go, you can see these files are present. So initially we had the orange.tar, the debian.tar, the DSC. These three are the source packages, and then now we built the dev file. So this is the binary package, and then you have the build info file, and the build is the build log, and changes file actually has the checksum for all these files. Usually when you upload to Debian, you digitally sign the changes file using a GPG key, and then you do an upload. Okay, so now we got the file, and final step, we can try and install that. Install 8822 /. Okay. Unsupported file given in the command line. Okay, so probably okay, sorry. This one you don't really need the dot dot because you're already in the directory. So when you do apt install and the deb package, you need to give the path. Yeah, that was my mistake trying to install. So I need to give the full path. If you give passing a .deb file, otherwise it would be taken as a package name. Now it actually installed the PrettyMS package. So this actually covers the building things. So now the rest of the tutorial now covers the ftubes, the second package, how to create a patch using dpatch and stuff like that. But I think this is pretty old information these days. Most packages uses Quilt, and if you really have to modify packages, then you can follow this using Quilt page on the wiki.debian.org, which tells you how to modify a package. Okay, so let's try. If I need to change something, so let's just check apt policy node for MS. So you can see, okay, this is version 2.1. Okay. Just for the tutorial purpose, let's edit the README file, and so I would need to first set up the Quilt RC. So if you go to wiki.debian.org/using Quilt, we need to first create a .quiltrc file. You can just copy paste the whole thing and then create a .quiltrc file, which I already have in my system, but you can just copy paste that thing. So you need this for saving the patches into Debian/patches folder. Otherwise, by default, Quilt will save it in the patches directory, Debian/patches. So, okay, so now let's see if it has any patches. Okay, so it already has one patch. So you can just see Debian patches / Okay, so with this, what Xavier has done is he has replaced the AVA test framework using tape because AVA is not packaged, and it's a pretty huge task. It has a very long list of dependencies, and it's going to take forever to package. So we skipped AVA, and then we're using tape, which is packaged, and so I'll create a new, say, sample patch with quilt.patch. So you can create a .patch or a .diff file. Okay, so quilt is not found, so probably need to install quilt. Okay. Okay, so probably we need to do add readme. And then I would just add something. This is a sample change to demonstrate quilt. Okay, so you just so first thing you need to do, okay, probably if you have so let's start again. So first you actually need to do quilt push -a if it has other patches, so it's which I forgot. So this became the first patch and not the last. But usually we add new patches at the end, but I think in this case it doesn't really matter. But then if you see Debian/patches series, it would have an order which one should be applied first and then which second. Sometimes you need to maintain this series, and then quilt actually helps when you have so many patches to manage. Okay, so and then it's also a good idea to add any comments why added to demo quilt. Why you needed to create that patch, and then whether you forwarded it. If forwarded, you should add the link to the upstream issue. So now we actually did modify. And so what we did is quilt push -a, and then quilt new, and then quilt add, then edit the file, then do quilt refresh, and then quilt for -a. So that's how you use quilt, and I think that's all there for this building tutorial. So you can always check out wiki.debian.org building tutorial, and if you have any questions, you can always email me or you can find me on Metrics or IRC or XMPP on #Debian Browserify on OFTC or #Debian JS mentors:43.com on the Metrics network. So that's all for now, and thanks for listening in, and hope to meet you somewhere, and I hope this tutorial was useful to you. Thank you.